Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology, and that is the context of today's channeled message. The pre-messages are that the thing or the aspects of your development that have created the hugest tripping points for you in your personal self-development, the things that you hold true to your belief patterns that other people are feeling and thinking and holding against yourself, are really nothing more than the reverberations of this Chiron wound within our psychological and emotional well-being and our ability to surpass the point of realization, which was a message this late summer into the early fall about how we continue to climb the ladder in our journey to our success point. And there's this tripping up point that seems to get us to the point where we're at this certain level, and then it puts us back down the slide a few paces behind. And this is how Chiron operates in our chart. Mine happens to be in the same sign that my sun sign is in very close proximity. So it ends up being something that I almost understand as being part of the journey, but it's so much a part of me that I misunderstand how this goes into practice in my life. And so wherever your Chiron placement is, you can find it if you don't know where it's at by looking it up online, by looking up the date and the time and location of your birth. You can chart your Chiron location, and where it is right now at the time of this broadcast in mid-December of 2025 is it's retrograding around the 20-something-th degree, 23rd-ish degree of Aries. And I'll get you a placement here. Right around the 23rd degree is correct. So it's right around that placement right now. So however that ends up aspecting your personal natal placement is quite significant. For some of us, it'll be having just passed where our natal Chiron was at in Aries, and others it'll be coming into Taurus in 2027-ish. Well, at 2026 it'll be at the 0 into the 1 degree before turning retrograde again. It's very slow moving and whatnot. So let's get us some messages about what this Chiron wound is trying to help us to activate within our psyche. There's also elements of our ancestry playing into this Chiron wound, which is partially what has held us up as a tripping point for many of us. Those of us with the less supportive early or traditional family dynamics, where the family ends up being the ones that hold us back in one way or another. And this can be through healthy partnerships and connections as well. Because there's a lot of the Chiron wound that came out in the pre-shuffle. It was underneath. The Chiron wound, it just kind of lays dormant. And it's the place of our insecurities and instability and our urge to continue to strive for balance in our lives. So if it was in Aries, Aries is about autonomy and authority and the ability to lead. And if it's in Taurus, it's about your self-image, your self-worth, your the ability to relax instead of just going into being a workhorse. If it's in Gemini, it's about stabilizing your sense of personal identity without relying upon other people to be your sacred mirror. And it goes on from there, and it's quite deep. So some of you may be interested in looking up, I think it is Robert Hand, does some inner sky on the nodes. I think he does something with Chiron as well. Anyways, under the deck we have Frog, prosperity, gorgeous energy. So this Chiron wound for some of us is in between us in our sense of prosperity or abundance, our sense that things are truly working out for us. And for others of us, it's aspecting us as in our money is working out, but our love life and our relationships are the one thing that we haven't been getting on top of. It says, let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. Indeed. And so the lion, the higher calling, is the one that came out face up. And the lion says, you have within you all the courage you need. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and for your tribe. So that's very interesting. So prosperity and your higher calling are in tandem with your Chiron wound. And we had a few popping out from the pre-shuffle. Very interesting. Sea turtle protection did come out on the pre-shuffle. I'll let you guys pause and read those if you wish. So protection, your path is protected. You have ladybug, good luck. Penguin, authentic. And dog, friend. So for many of us, this part of our higher calling is about walking our own authentic higher path, and the luck that comes from being simply authentic and being friendly and loyal and kind and consistent with others. But for many of you with this dog, friend, or cat, portal keeper, high heart chakra, on the split here, it's going to be about setting boundaries and limits with others, because the Chiron wound, again, it infiltrates us as in the thing that is creating the instability or insecurity or imbalance in our lives. And when we focus on that, we can understand what needs to be done, but fail in the doing of it. And so quite often, many of us will set up platforms or healing modalities or basis of operation for our prosperity, and we will be selling our services and things like this based on the authentic undertakings of our Chiron wound, the urge to come back up. And so the more authentic we can become in our pursuit of what truly protects our own self, being loyal to ourselves without failing, choosing to be our own friend. That's where the higher calling comes in, because the dog didn't come out in the pre-shuffle, but Wolf, Pathfinder, did. So let's see what some of these cards are today for our viewers. Prosperity again, romantic love and surrender. Now, there we go. So there's prosperity twice and romantic love. And I see this beautiful family unit happening in several of these cards. As you can see, there's this pod, I think you call it, of sea turtles, this cozy little family of penguins. For those of us in the colder climates, that seems appropriate. And a couple on the higher calling lion card, and this whole tribe of dogs here in this loyalty card. So surrendering to our pursuit of romantic love and prosperity in our lives. And I feel like many of us have just kind of gotten to a place where there have been so many ideas coming up and so many opportunities, and staying the course on your endeavors has been a lot. And how am I trying to get this? It feels like since it hasn't been coming through, then you're just kind of throwing up your hands and doing what you need to do in the meantime, but staying open with your heart space. And we also have the crown chakra, the unlimited self, with throat chakra, solar plexus chakra, and life force energy. I love that combo. So speaking up from the contents of our heart and soul helps us to bloom into our higher calling, because the cosmic flower, it activates our remembrance of the place that we call home and the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. And so that core element is something that has been, it's come through our vessel in order to be communicated out into the world with this radiant abundance, this open heart space. And so some of you, your Chiron wound may be in the sign of Cancer or Leo. Oh, we've got one on the ground. Let me see what that is. We've got vulnerability under the deck here. Let me pop. It's authority. So this, to me, is talking about we have all of the skills and the authority to make these changes and proclamations. It comes through with this solar plexus, life force energy, and throat chakra coming out in one batch. And it's like utilizing our heart space through the crown to connect with our higher endeavors and bring that in to push out any of the bad mojo. And I'm hearing also this somatic urge that comes through unique gifts. That's beautiful. And alignment below that. So you have the unique gifts already within you through your authentic, vulnerable self. And so when you're in that space, it brings forth your ability to be profitable and to be truly loved for who you are, and bringing it into your body with all of the authority that is yours to wield in this lifetime. So I think that we are going to just get a few more cards. Let's actually feline under the deck here. Let's get some of these handmade cards here and see what else it is that we may be dealing with. So we've got a few coming out already. We have taking a chance, return, reunion, and ascending master. So there's this ascension journey that's underway here, which is why you're compelled to work with your Chiron wound, because the people that are here to be ascended masters are here. Oh, I just saw Chiron in the deck too. Interesting. The individuals that are here to work with their Chiron wound are here to unlock their healing journey, their shamanic ability to help others to make it through the point of realization portal. And the best way to do that is to make it through ourselves without delaying and holding the portal open. I was getting this image the last year or so from time to time of this on the Marvel comic remakes, the Thor image where he's holding up holding open the eye of this area, the alchemical forge to create his new tool. We're getting suspended animation, surreal, frame by frame revision with Jupiter, which Jupiter is actually in retrograde right now. And so that may be part of your journey as well, is feeling this sluggishness in the return of what you've been putting out there. So if that is you, just kind of keep coming back around. Give something a chance to manifest. Don't let yourself become too caught up in what isn't working, because being caught up in what isn't working keeps it occurring in our lives, keeps it active in our return to, what am I going to say, the law of attraction. Yes, E, F, G, or H might be important for you. You make me want to be better. Exactly. So the best way to make it through the portal, as I was saying, is to make it through yourself. Because yeah, with the Thor image, when we're holding up and holding the portal open for others, we're just delaying our path. We're helping others, but you can't really help others to heal. All you can do is open the channel and stream it through yourself. But even Thor was getting scorched from holding the portal open. So there's a bit of something that goes on when we hold things open too long. Counterbalance, yin yang, and you've got green light. So that's interesting. Yeah, the north, true north, I feel you are my destiny, aligned, steadfast, focused, and overcompensation, win-lose. There's inequality in the situation here, or there has been, but somebody wants to come and see you. I think that this is because of, it could be because of your Chiron wound in particular, the healed aspect of your Chiron aspect brings others to you that can't figure out how to navigate their own wound. And so you may be somebody who helps others to realize what is going on in their situation. Exactly. You might point out toxic friends or family members to people. Obsession. My love language is activated. I'm ready to pour into you. And ancestors are sending signs and synchronicities. Full circle back to the ancestry. Yeah, censorship of your light. You've lost your muchness. You were much muchier before. And so this is, the Chiron wound comes through and is activated for many of us through our family and friends and colleagues and associations that we hold in early life. And then we learn through our trying to speak this message out into the world that others sometimes aren't ready for it, or they don't want what we are trying to sell them. And this is where I come back to that we can't heal for others. We cannot heal our family line while they are mired in their process, because other people have their own Chiron wound. And so even if you're not on the same page as somebody, looking into someone else's Chiron wound might be important in this aspect. Like somebody right now might be working through their Chiron return that you're dealing with, or that you've had this traumatic back and forth in your own development. You might be connected very deeply in the karmic dharmic wheel of things. And so there's definitely something about you radiating your energy forth and having met up with different signpost that you weren't valued, or that this didn't matter, or that something was wrong with the way that you were expressing yourself here. But to reach this level of romantic love and prosperity, then you are going to need to understand a new way to step into your true, authentic authority with this insecurity front and center, and to communicate this publicly and openly in a way that doesn't perhaps invite other people's compassion or their fear or guilt or shame or something like this. Like, there's many individuals that communicate things and it comes across as, oh, I've had this and this and this, but still I survive. And, you know, there's that level, but there's also this, you know, even though I went through many things, these are the things that have come from that. And these are the things that I am standing with going forward. And that is your muchness. That is how you reclaim your personal autonomy from this time loop that has been coming through. Let me get something out of this shamanic deck real quick. The Sun and closing door, completion. Oh, and the Sun has the perfect storm behind it. There's something very timely about this activation where something is closing out of your life. It may have really hit you with this dawning sense of authority that has been summoned up and outward through you, through this perfect storm. But it says here, the courage to step into life. And that is what we have over here. You have within you all of the courage you need. Let go and reclaim your majesty, because we've got that surrender card. So it's like letting go of anything that hasn't served the purpose in the past, and have the courage to step into this new exploration and explanation of who you are and how you are and what you're trying to do with this clarity and organization and sky bridge possibility for union. There's this unification happening between yourself and your ancestors that are helping you to put your own house or your temple back into a tight order, if you will. And so some of you may have had ancestors or mothers, fathers, or children pass before you, and you may be somebody who has been taking care of some of the items that they used to own, and this definitely connects you with them. And so there's something coming in about that, but they are watching us dealing with the Chiron wounds and making sense of it. It's not just about us. Chiron is transpersonal in a way, and it comes in and out of the asteroid belt, which makes it different from the other elements within the asteroid belt. It has that irregular path around the sun, and this Centaur energy is all about the Achilles heel, and it's the wound that doesn't heal. And so admitting that this isn't going to heal for us can help us to embrace ourselves with that level of self-love, and to help others to radiate anyways from the point of that return in the cycle. So if some of you are getting ready or have just surpassed your Chiron return, that's awesome for you. It usually happens at around 60-ish years old. So of course not all of us on this channel are at that age yet, but as it comes up, we can help many other individuals surpass their Chiron wounded nature And so if a full cycle around the sun is 60, half of that is around 30, so that's your opposition point, and then the 15-ish to 18-ish years is about the square, where we have that pressure, and then we have in between. So it's not perfect, but that's around where we're getting. So anyways, I think that is going to do it for this message. So let's go ahead and close this out with some advice from Spirit. Actually, before we do that, let's get some of these messages from our ancestors about the Chiron wound and about it being this transpersonal card holder, placeholder in our life. Exactly. The orphan. So many of you do have some type of death or something that you've gone through, and it could be a death or a transition of a pattern in life, but it offered you something incredible, and it created this perfect storm. And this storm can also be about the things that created the issue, the insecurity or instability, the imbalance of the way that things hit you creates this fault line. See, it's like all the way through, and it becomes the offering to the world at large. And then we have the kiss. And so the kiss is all about loving the self more intently and intensely than we have been shown to do in the past. Because also with this orphan card, the snake raveling around is like this fault line coming back and returning full circle. And this, again, 2025 is the snake year. And the snake is all about shedding its skin for the new year. And the new year, 2026, somewhere around late January, early February, we'll have the transition into the double fire year of the fire horse. And the fire horse is all about momentum. And so this year, 2025, 2025 added together is a 9, which is all about closure, about this closing door and completing the cycle. And so when we're seeing the sun up ahead, it's about this resurgence of our inner authority. And don't allow yourself to get caught up in thinking that evidence of the past is going to become your future, because your current situation is an accumulation of your point of realization and your law of attraction patterns that have gone on from the past into now. So your now moment is the past. And so to create the future, we need to up level our thinking and feeling and our action game. And so some of our actions, this perfect storm that is coming through, is helping us to create this courage to step forward and to create this newfound, I wanted to say therapy. I don't understand why, but a newfound healing therapy or something for some of you, for sure. Yeah, so the 9 year is all about closure, and next year, 2026, is going to be a 10 year. 10 is the end and the beginning of the 1, because 1 plus 0 is actually a 1 year. So we're getting things going for the new year. So shed your old skin, surrender the old passionate beginnings and false starts, and get yourself cleared out, whether in your real life or in your emotional, psychological life. Okay, look beyond the surface. 37 says, avoid becoming distracted by the surface issues. Exactly, because this situation that you're in is evidence of your past. And so as we move forward, we are starting the ball rolling for new endeavors, but we need to stay consistent and courageous as we step forward into life and present ourselves, present our healing, present our unique gifts, and to be awakened and aware and vulnerable. So don't be distracted by this evidence of your past cycle. Focus on the underlying motivations, the causes, or the beauty within a situation. Seek ways to bring depth to your world. You are exactly where you need to be. 26. Acknowledge how you are feeling. Have faith the universe will take care of a current concern by providing the best possible outcome for all involved. And underneath we have number 6, looking at the underbelly, which the underbelly is absolutely the Chiron aspect. Be sure that you are using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider taking time to organize yourself, or perhaps a project that you're working on could use some fine tuning. So it's time to fine tune all of your undertakings and your approaches, and simplify your life and look beyond these surface issues into the truth behind being where you need to be to earn the courage from walking through fire and coming out better than you have been in the past. So I hope that was meaningful for you. If it was, please hit up some of those buttons, help us grow the channel, share the information, comment if you will, and take good care of yourselves. And if you would like, we're doing the membership pull. I have not started the membership pool yet, but we will be. So I'm going to come back in and do a level 2 on this and see what we get. Take care.